who you choose to surround yourself with, especially in a country like Canada where there's not that many great like people that like you would want to surround yourself with, especially like my school or other schools I know and communities. It's a lot of like non-Muslims, and then hanging out with them, you realize that you start to do things they do, and it's not instantaneous, but over time you'll start to like take over their habits. And if you go back to like a full Muslim friend group, you realize, oh, this is something I did different, and I'm glad I stopped doing that. Stuff like that. It's just something quick I wanted to add.
If we realize that we should be the first ones to put action, we should not wait for another person. If we keep that mindset going, we will accomplish everything. And that's how we flourish as an ummah.
Keep the niyyah.
The intentions.
One of the first people to get into Jahannam are one who used to teach Quran and someone who died fi sabilillah. And the reason they went to Jahannam was because their intention was not for Allah. It was for fame or for money, for even to feel good about themselves.
For example, we volunteer, right? We all volunteer in the masjid, we volunteer in the community. In Ramadan, we volunteer. But always the intention should be to please Allah. And yes, there will be whispers from shaitan. Shaitan will try to make you feel like, oh, fame, this, that. But as long as you're in that constant battle, that no, no, no. This is going to be for Allah.
Always very important to keep your intention to Allah.
Because it is a very scary thing. You may think, yeah, I'm on the right path, I'm doing good, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But on the day of judgment, those three categories of the people will be the first ones to enter hellfire. Purify your intentions. Always after every good deed that you do, publicly or privately, ask Allah to purify your intentions.
A lot of you brothers mentioned teaching, and I think that's really important. I remember, don't quote me on this, but I believe the Prophet said, the best of you are the teachers, I believe. And going off of that, we do all have different experiences. One brother's skill might be the Quran, recitation, the tajweed. Another's might be seerah, and it might not even be Islamic related. It might be like public speaking. One brother might be very good at physical traits, right? It's important to like teach that, like so the ummah thrives. And I just think that's important, like the good qualities. We should share that with one another.
The brother mentioned that we need to have and we need to keep we need to go back to our homes as doctors and engineers. This is a very, very important thing. There are many people who believe that if you're not a scholar in Islam, if you're not a hafiz, if you're not a mufti, if you're not a maulana, you're nothing in life. That's absolutely incorrect. If anybody tells you that, that's absolutely wrong. If this was the case, then who was the wife of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam? She was a trader. She was a person who would have trade. She was a seller and a buyer. So you need to have people who do certain things. If everybody was a mufti and a maulana in Islam, would we have Muslim doctors? Would we have Muslim people in a position where they test medication to see the medication is as halal as possible as it could be? Although there's the exception of medication. Would we have people who are food enthusiasts to make sure that the ingredients that they're using is halal? Would we have people who would build buildings and they would make sure that the money that's coming from is halal? If everybody was Maulana and Muftis, the world could not survive like this. There has to be a balance. So the brother mentioned that you go back home and you take your knowledge and you build on it. That is a very, very important point.